You've probably heard of Kokuyo, right? Maybe from that iconic campus notebook you used back in school. But listen, the company that's been a quiet staple on our desks for like over a century, they're in the middle of this huge reinvention. So today, we're going to dig into how a stationery giant is trying to design the literal future of work.
It really comes down to this one single question, right? The biggest question of our time, really. It affects every single one of us. And it's this challenge that Kokuyo has placed at the very, very heart of its new mission. And this is what their answer looks like. This is the campus, Kokuyo's headquarters in Tokyo. And it's not just an office. They call it a living laboratory, a place to experiment and basically prototype answers to that huge question we just talked about. So how on earth did a notebook company get here?
Okay, so to really get what they're doing now, we've got to go back, way back. Their history isn't just a straight line. It's like a masterclass in how to adapt and survive.
I mean, look at this. Kokuyo's story is all about constant reinvention. They kicked things off way back in 1905, just making ledger covers. Simple stuff. But then the modern office shows up in the 60s and bam, they pivot to furniture. Then in 75, they launched the campus notebook, which was just a massive, massive hit with students. Fast forward to the 2000s, and they're leading the charge in e-commerce for office supplies. You see, every step wasn't just a new product. It was a total evolution, and it all led them to this, to opening the campus in 2021.
This right here. This basically shows you the whole journey. On the left, a traditional ledger from where it all began. On the right, that famous campus notebook. And get this, they've sold over 3.7 billion of them. That's not just success, you know? That's like deep cultural integration. But even that, it wasn't the end of the road for them. So here's the absolute key. This is the big shift in their thinking. They realized their future wasn't just in selling mono. That's the Japanese word for physical things, but in designing koto. And koto, that's the experiences, the context, the real value that those things create. It's a move from just product to purpose. And that, right there, changes everything. And you know, this new way of thinking, it led them to a really bold new vision for society itself. We're talking way beyond just selling office supplies. They have a name for it, Jiritsu Kyodo Shikai. It translates to an autonomous and collaborative society. So what does that mean? It's basically a vision for a future where everyone can totally thrive, you know, balancing their own personal goals with contributing to the greater good. It's all about creating spaces where people can be their most vibrant, their most creative selves. And this is their mission, right from their Be Unique philosophy. They say, we want to stimulate our customers' creativity and let their individuality shine through the experience value our products and services provide. It's not about selling you a chair. It's about giving you an experience that helps your unique creativity come out. That's a really powerful human-centered goal.
Okay, so a grand vision is one thing, right? But how do you actually pull it off as a business? Well, their answer is a strategy they call forest management.
They call it the forest management strategy, and honestly, it's built on this really cool metaphor. So think of their big, established businesses, like stationery and furniture, as the rich, healthy soil. This solid ground provides all the nutrients, you know, the money and the knowledge, to grow a whole diverse forest of new ventures, new ideas, new experiments. It's pretty smart.
And the blueprint itself? It's a pretty logical four-step plan. First, you solidify your home base, your core business in Japan. Then, from that strong position, you start expanding globally into these high-growth markets like China and India. Step 3, to speed things up, you make smart acquisitions to buy new skills and tech. But it's this last step that's the real secret sauce. You share all that knowledge across the entire forest to create something totally unique that nobody else can copy.
And you can see this whole strategy playing out right here. On the left, they're tapping into India's growing middle class with high-end art supplies through their brand Camlin. On the right, they're in China, designing entire next-gen office spaces for huge corporations. See? It's the same forest strategy, just adapted for different local ecosystems. But here's the thing. This whole reinvention isn't just about making more money or growing globally.
It's also really deeply rooted in a commitment to people and the planet. This is where their vision, it truly comes to life. Okay, let's start with this number, 90%. Get this, that's the brand recognition for campus notebooks among students in Japan. Now, that's not just a market share stat. It represents this deep, deep trust. And that trust gives them the permission and, the resources to go after these much bigger goals.
And that trust, it translates into serious financial muscle. This chart here shows their return on equity, which is just a key way to measure how profitable a company is. And you can see a really clear, ambitious path forward. They're going from 8.5% today to a target of over 10% by 2030. This financial health is what pays for the entire mission.
Their ambition also extends to sustainability, with some really aggressive goals for 2030. On the environmental side, they're aiming for huge cuts in greenhouse gases and want to get to 100% recycled waste and sustainable paper. And for their people, they're making a real commitment to diversity, with a hard target to increase the number of female managers. It's a really comprehensive 360-degree approach. And at the absolute center of all of this are their people. Their head of human and culture says it best. The entire HR strategy is based on one thing: maximizing creativity. They truly believe that their employees' creativity is their ultimate secret weapon, which brings us right back here, inside the campus. This space is just a brilliant example of their philosophy in action. It's designed to be a physical manifestation of their values, a place that nurtures the exact kind of well-being and creativity they want to bring to the rest of the world.
Okay, so this brings us to their most ambitious and, if I'm being honest, most fascinating goal. Something that really pushes the boundaries of what we think a company can even do. They want to measure waku-waku. It's this fantastic Japanese word. It means that feeling of excitement, that buzz of anticipation, of genuine joy. Now just imagine trying to put a number on that feeling. Well, that's their next big challenge. So the goal here is to scientifically prove that well-designed spaces actually make people happier and more creative, to show a value that goes way beyond just cost per square foot. And their method for this is totally cutting edge. They're using applied neuroscience to literally try and quantify waku-waku and validate the true power of a place. Which leaves us with this final massive question. I mean, think about it. From a simple notebook to designing collaborative societies, and now trying to literally quantify excitement itself, Kokuyo's journey really forces us to ask, can a company truly engineer happiness? And what will the workplace of tomorrow actually look like if they succeed?